Olympic values were respected and observed, wouldn't you?
Our goal is to inspire and enable people to adopt an active, healthy, and fulfilling lifestyle.
Team sports allow us to talk about life skills.
The Olympic Games in sport sees itself as a promoter of human rights.
My name is Dr. Gautam Mukherjee, as introduced by Avinav. I'm the Chief Executive of Spotify. Olympism is a philosophy of life, exalting and combined in a balanced whole the qualities of body, will, and mind. Blending sport with culture and education, Olympism seeks to create a way of life based on the joy found in effort, the education value of good example, and respect for universal fundamental ethical principles. Towards Spotify's endeavor of impacting sports at grassroots level and education, we believe and follow the spirit of Olympism, and also our entire effort is actually based on the Olympic creed of larger participation. With the spirit of Olympism, we deliver end-to-end sports education program in more than 200 plus schools across India, along with community sports development, sports academies, grassroots sports, sports education training. So it's really a pleasure because a lot of our endeavors are so aligned with the Olympism and the spirit of Olympic education. It's a pleasure for me to welcome today's speaker, Ms. Ofra Abramovich. She is the founder and chairman and board of Mamanet from Israel. Welcome, Ofra.
Hello.
Hello, very good morning.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, hi, how are you?
I'm good, Ofra, and welcome, and I trust all are good in your family, health, and you're safe.
Thank you.
I'll give you a brief introduction of Mamanet. I was going through your website also, Ofra, and I'm very excited. With your vision, Mamanet impacts the social status of women by creating opportunity to participate in sports. Mothers to participate in sports started with this powerful and impacting thought. Mamanet organizes Mothers League, which is the largest women's league and the third most popular sports brand in Israel. Mamanet has thousands of active mother players who participate in close to 1150 plus teams located in municipalities in Israel and all across the world. Ofra devotes her life to promote Mamanet's life philosophy, where mothers should be able to belong to a sports team and thereby lead a healthy and active lifestyle. What an impacting thought, Ofra. And as such, those mothers become a personal example and a role model for their children and family. They become strong physically and mentally, and they become to be a leader and start to hold positions in the local municipalities' leadership avenues. Mothers who participate in Mamanet have proved their ability to build a strong community, which become a platform to emphasize school pride, good sportsmanship, professional competitions, and enhancing community building and mutual aid. I am personally very excited to hear a lot about you because this is a very powerful and impacting thought that must have started. And yes, it has taken a major shape, and I'm sure it is impacting not only socially but also at grassroots sports. Ofra, we are very privileged to have you with us today. I'd like to take on the stage and share your views, thoughts, and the presentation. Over to you, Ofra. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. First of all, before I continue, I just want to say a few thanks. So it's a privilege for me to be part of this webinar and this conference. It's an honor for me. It's not that obvious because we are talking about amateur sport but the Olympism values, it fits absolutely to Mamanet, and I will represent it later. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Narinder Dhruv Batra, President of the Indian Olympic Association, and to Mr. Prashant Kushawa, Chairman of the Indian Olympic Education Committee, and Dr. Rakesh Malik, the organizing secretary of the webinar and the member of the Indian Olympic Education Committee. So my name is Ofra Abramovich, and I'm the founder of Mamanet, which is a league for mothers. And it was initiated 15 years ago in my city, a small city in Israel. and it becomes by me going to some activity that a friend of mine asked me to come with her, and I always said to her, no, I don't have time, I'm very busy with the children, with making dinner and homework with them, always excuses why not to go with her. And actually, after a few times that she encouraged me, I said, okay, I will go with her and I will see what it is, and so she will leave me alone after that. And I went, she told me to be ready at Tuesday, 8:30 in evening time. And I prepared everything on time and I was ready to go with her. And when I went to there and I start to play with the team, after I'll say what is the game, I realized two things. One of them was that me and only me is responsible for my set of priority. It means that if I decided to go out at 8:30 at night with my friend to an activity, I can arrange everything ahead and be ready by that time. So no one will tell me what is the set of priority and how to make the schedule, my schedule. I, the only one that's responsible for this. So if my set is priority is different, I will act different. And the second thing that happened when I went there was that I was start to playing with a team. And I just felt that I get back to age of 16 when I was free with no children and I have nothing to worry about and I have time for myself. And when I set a point, all the team cheer me up. And even when I didn't set a point, all the team cheer me up. And it was like a fun place to be. And it just hit me. And when I came home, I said, wow, 1 minute. I miss this time. I want to be part of a team. I want to do sport, not alone together. I need to do something about it. And then I decided to initiate and to found the Mamanet. It's a league for mothers. And I went to my mayor of my city and I said to him, I asked for a meeting and I said to him, I want to have a league for mothers. And he stares at me and he said to me, okay, thank you, and just send me out from his office. But I didn't give up and I always nagged him and went to him, and even I called his wife and I said to her, tell him to have a Mamanet, a league for mothers, because it will be the best thing that he will do. And after a while, he just couldn't resist my nagging, and he called me to his office and he said, okay, what do you need? And I said, just sport halls and to start to have the mothers. And he allowed me to go to each school and to each classes, all the classes in each school in my city, and to tell them that we are going to have a Mamanet, a league for mothers, and every mother will get a t-shirt and medal and stuff like this. And this was the beginning. Now, why is the Mamanet is so important, and now it's so successful and it got so many mothers? So first of all, we are the biggest women league in Israel. More than 10,000 mothers are playing in this Mamanet. And we are the third branch in Israel after soccer ball, basketball, and Mamanet. This is how significant is the meaning of Mamanet, because many homes have players, mother, that playing Mamanet. So what are the values of Mamanet? Why is it become so popular? So first of all, we said that every mother can, and this is a very strong value. It's a value. It's not just a statement. It's a value. Because while you say every mother can, you allowed so many mothers that never touch a ball, never get to the court, never did a team sport, never have time for this, to get to the field again, or for the first time. And we don't care what her religion, what her social status, what her age, what is their height, what is the weight. We don't care. You are mother, you are in. And the model is that the mother create a team according to the school that the children are learning. So if my daughter is in school Osishkin, for example, in Israel, my team name is Osishkin. So I represent the school by being a Mamanet player. So this brings to the triangle of school, mothers, and the children. We are together. We represent in a good statement the Mamanet. And the second thing is that the mother becomes the star of the family. She is the star now in sport, and all the family come to cheer her. So we change the rules. Usually the father is the role model for sport, not because he's always doing sport, maybe he's watching the sport channel, but yet he's always the role model for sport. And we change it. We put the mother, and she's very, very obligated to this. So she don't miss training. And if she have a very difficult time at the job, and she's very tired, she never give up. She's going to the training. And when the children see his mother putting the knee pad and taking the ball and going every week for training and playing, we don't have to tell them to do sport. They know that they should do sport because the mother is doing it. I can do it also. And I have to mention that in many places that there is a Mamanet league, the number of children that attending the sport clubs raising up every time, because either the children wants to be like mother and go to play, do sport, or the mothers realize how important the sport is, and they force the children to do sport. And this is, and by the way, usually at age of 12, a lot of girls start to leave the sport because they become, they want to have more social life and to go out at Friday evening, and they start to get muscles, and they don't want, and they want to look like women, not like strong shoulders and whatever, and they start to quit the sport. And when you have mothers, a Mamanet mother at home, and she realizes how important the sport is, she will force her girl to stay to the sport, because it's very important for all the values that the sport is giving to us. And for me as a mother, giving my children the sport, the values of life, of winning or losing, or stay in order, or listen to instructions, or be a part of a team, or sometimes to give up, sometimes to be a captain, all the values that we want for our life. I want my children to gain it by the sport field. I think this is the best way for children to understand the values of life. So this is very important. And when the mother is doing sport, all the family get benefit, because while she is doing sport and realize that she wants to jump higher and run faster for the ball, she start to watch what she's eating, and she start to cook healthy. And while the mother is cooking healthy, all the family get benefit. And when the mother is caring about active way of life and healthy way of life, all the family got benefit from this, because we saw it in many families. When the mother come to Mamanet, all the family changed their way of life, their way of seeing the sport, the importance of sport, and all this stuff. So while many people ask me why mothers, it's a very crucial to implement the change, because the mother is a change agent of the family. And while she's decided to do something, all the family is getting either involved or got benefit or influenced by this. So this is a role model for them, and very important. So this is how we started it, and I just add a very few sentence about why Olympism and Mamanet is like equal. Because the value of Olympism is loving the sport, respect, friendship, and excellency by doing the best that you can. You not always have to win, but you have to do the best you can. This is very important. And combining sport with culture and education to create a way of life based on joy and of effort, educational values, social responsibility, and respect. And by that, we're creating a better world for our children. And I think that mothers, for me also, again, my title as a mother is to create a better world for my children. And Mamanet, and I'll show you it in a few minutes in other spot that we see how we do it, but I have to mention that mothers, the Mamanet mothers, players, start in very like 30, 35 year of age, or maybe earlier. It depends when you start to be a mother. But we start to participate the league by that time that professional athletes or players hang their shoes, which means that the Mamanet is against all the physiology of sport, because we become, after we finish all the titles in life, we start to do the sport again. So it's very important to understand that we don't come only for winning. The way of doing it, the way to the court, and the way from the court outside, this is what important, what values we share while going to the court, before we play, while we play, and after we play. And this is very crucial because sometimes we mix. People come to play, so they always want to win, and they don't care for nothing but winning. Okay, I'm a mother and I'm a player and I want to win, but I know that I have more obligation other than that. So combining all the values that the Olympism share, this is what creates Mamanet, the very popular and very important and very crucial for others. And another point that we found out during those years, that Mamanet players can become the best coaches for children. And why? Because if those children go to a special branch, soccer, handball, rugby, whatever, and they start with professional coach that demand from them to be professional, be the first, be one, and if not, you go out, you sit, you on the bench and whatever. I think it's good only for the best, but it's not good for all of them. And not all of us will be the best player and the way gain an Olympic medal. But yet, all of us need to do sport and needs to gain values. And I think that mothers that share these values with the children and like understand them and give them the passion for sport as a sport, not as a medal, I think this is the best infrastructure for those children to raise up to be a professional players. Before, you first have to love what you do, and then from this you can be the best. And in Israel, for example, many mothers sharing their values in classes, because we speak Olympism. Our values is Olympism, and we share it with our children or in the other classes. And it's very, very important, and we can see that the children are influenced by this. And I think that if you want to raise up the awareness of sport and the importance of sport, this is the best way. Not to mention that by having 10,000 mothers playing in Israel in Mamanet, you add 10,000 women to sport field. And this is very important. It's not very obvious, because we know that also, I don't know how it's in other countries, but in Israel, the sport is dominated 99% by men. in the sport department, the head of the sport department, the coaches, the head of associations, and all of them are men. And adding more women to the field first by players and later being coaches and referees and all the professional staff, I think it's a role changing. It's a game changer. And this is very, very important, and its influence in Israel also, the sport field. Okay, what is the game? We talk about too long about what's Mamanet, what is the game, but I have to mention that the game is very important, but it's not the crucial part of Mamanet. It's a part of the whole picture. So the game it's called Newcomb because it was invented in the United States 200 years ago. And it was in University of Newcomb, Louisiana. And the physical education teacher invited it, and she started playing it. And then from there, it was moved for other countries. And for example, in South America, a lot of men playing this game, and they call it kashi ball because you catch the ball. You're allowed to catch the ball for 1 second and then throw it. And all the rest of the rules are the same as volleyball. This is the only difference. And then it moves to England, and they call it throw ball because the serve that you do, it's throwing it and not hitting it like in volleyball. The big difference is that in volleyball, you hit the ball, and in Mamanet, you catch a ball. And this allows many mothers play it because you don't need any prior experience, and you don't have to, practice 10,000 times a day in order to be the perfect serve. You just catch it and throw it. So this is why it's easy to gain it. So now, after we spread it out in Israel, many countries around the world start to ask to hear about it and to see what's going on. What is it? Why it's so attractive in Israel? And so the head of the CSIT, as you can see, is the head of the biggest sport for all and the working place sport organization with like 22 million members. And he decided to have Mamanet as an official branch in the World Sport Games that they have every 2 years. And why? Because in Italy and in Austria and the USA, they have a lot of sport branches. Why Mamanet? And this is exactly what is the values, because it's a league for mothers, and mothers bring with them different set of values. When I go to play in the World Sport Games, it's like the Olympic Games. I don't come only for winning. I appreciate the time that I have to go out from my home to leave the children and the husband, and they know how to behave when I go out because I teach them by going every week to the training and to have time for myself and playing and having fun. And you should see in those games, the winner and the losers dancing together, and we don't care, and we have fun, and we go out and we share our experience together, and we come home happy, very happy, because in this age of life and these circles of life that we are always stuck as mothers, having the opportunity to do sport and to be with friends and to share values and to do good things for others, this is the essence of life for us. And I think this is the joker, that we found out that no matter if you are in Canada or Switzerland or India or Brazil, all mothers share the same needs, basic, very basic, before they know what their political values or whatever, very basic, that it's common to all mothers around the world. And I think those needs are consider our children and our life and the values. And once you have this, you can share the idea with many others, and they can participate with you and share with you the same feeling and the same influence. And in Europe, they call it social movement, because those mothers are, and you see in a minute how is the change is. I'll show you. So this is the basic. Mothers leads families, families build communities, and communities generate changes. And I think that the Corona time show it very strongly, because as a Mamanet community, what the bonding is the net and the ball, basically, because this is what we share together all around, all Mamanet around the world. But in the Corona time, we didn't have the net and we didn't have the ball, and yet we stayed together. It's like was social resilience. All mothers together. We got Zoom talking together. We got Zoom to have training together. And we checked that everybody is okay around us and not around us. And we got contact with other mothers all around the world to see how they pass the Corona time, what they do. We share values, we share experience, we can see from each other. And this is this sharp the meaning, and as we are a community. And I think this is a very, very strong values, that no matter what, we are staying together and we are community and we influence other. And how we influence other, I can show you, not only in Corona time, but as part of the DNA of Mamanet. If you can see here on the right side, right side, is the third age, Mamanet golden age, we call it. And for the people age of 65 and up, and they come to us and they say, why can't we play? Because we are 65, but yet we are very young physically, and we are active, and we are participating in many sports. We want also Mamanet, because our daughter's playing and we want to. So we said, okay, it's a good point. And we started to have a lot of gold age Mamanet, and all the mothers players bring their mothers to play in this league. And this is a phenomenon, because you don't need flyers, you don't need to market it, you ask your mother to come to play, and you create a team and a league, and it's amazing. And in the left side, it's the same. Those are our children in Mamanet. And we have KidNet tournament, KidNet for children, for our children. So with no flyers, with no nothing. Imagine that 10,000 mothers will bring only one child each. We have 10,000 children for a tournament. We don't have enough space to do tournament, because it's very heavy. And in each city, we have like 300-400 kids come to play, because they want to show like mothers, they want to play like mothers, so they come, and we have a lot of tournaments, and it's amazing. And putting the love of words by those children, by playing, and the mothers are the coaches of them, and they teach them what to do and how to play, and they do training before the tournament. This is the real life, This is the dream, to do sport, to live sport, it's a way, like a way of life, not just when I wake up in the morning, I'm Mamanet, and when I go to sleep, I'm Mamanet, not only on the court. And this is a strong belonging and strong sport statement, to be players anytime and to be Mamanet anytime. And the left side down, it's a prisoner. It's a prison, a women prison in Israel. We have only one prison. Luckily, we have only one prison in Israel. And unlike the men prison, that they have a court, a gym, indoor gym, the women don't have indoor gym. So they have to force to play outside. So by 5 years now, we come to, coaches come and train them, those prisoners. And it's amazing to see the influence. They are waiting for a Monday, 4 o'clock, when our coach is coming, and they're waiting for them in the gate and want to play. And those that release from prison and they find a new way, a new home, a new place, a new way in life, they become part of Mamanet leagues in their city. And no one knows what was their background. And we accept them as they are, and their children play with our children, and we don't care. And I think that the strong in community is part of it. It's get to not those in your close circles, but get to those who are in the far circles of your life and influence them. And I think that this is a great example. And for the prison, their way to indicate if it's successful or not, if a prison go out, if it's success or not, is the idea that she is not coming back. And Mamanet holds them in the community and don't let them go back to what they did and what they were and to the prison. And this is a very, very influential social responsibility. So for us as mothers, it's we really do believe, and we do social responsibility and also health responsibility. I'll show you in a minute. Also, we went to the United Nations and we got accepted as a model, special model for women in sport. And in the left side, this is in Austria. And what they do in Austria, they have a big problem with refugees, the Syrian refugees that come to Austria. The women become very apathic and very sick and depressed, and they don't go out from home. And they don't speak the language, and sometimes they are beaten by their husband, and not a good life. And the government of Austria gathered 5 government offices: the health, welfare, sport, women, and education offices, and they gained 1.5 million euros to put in this project, Mamanet for refugees. And those refugees mothers come with their daughters to play Mamanet, and they start to be engaged with the local women, the Austrian women. They start to speak the language. And what's amazing about now is that those refugees that playing Mamanet, we made them a course for training coaches. So they become coaches, and they start to gain money and bring money home as Mamanet coaches. And this is something that it's very influence for the government of Austria to see how it's a process, how she become from refugee to be a player, to do sport. And for sport, you need no language, We all come to the court and we all look the same and we play the same and we don't care and we are as one. So this is a very strong influence. And in the right downside, special needs. We have teams of special needs. And by the way, all what I've show you now, it's not that we say something and everybody is doing. Those initiative comes from the field, which means that those mother that plays Mamanet feels tremendous engagement to the place that they stay, to the Mamanet and to the platform of Mamanet, to fulfill their dreams, their ideas, whatever they think can be good or can be do something for others. They share it with us, and we do everything to have it come true. And it's amazing to see how this is how also Mamanet is spreading out to many countries and many mothers. Not that we are saying, hey, listen, we have a great idea and now share it with us. No, those mothers are the best diplomacy and to say why is Mamanet is very crucial and good for them, and they share their experience, the experience in Mamanet, and they spread it out. It's like a fire, you know. All of us want to belong to something so good, so with values, and share with others and contribute to the society in many different ways. So this is very crucial. Also, we have 10,000 mothers, and it's like 800 teams or more, and we needed coaches for 800 teams in Israel and out of Israel, and we start to look around and we didn't find, because they are not in the basketball and in other branches, we didn't find. So what we decided to do is to open the Mamanet campus. And what is so unique in the Mamanet campus? First of all, 90% of the participants are women. Usually in courses, in sport courses, 99% are men. In Mamanet, those women. And not only women, those players, those were players, Mamanet players, that imagine 2 years ago they had no idea about sport. They become players and now they become coaches. And it's amazing to see the process, how they start to understand the sport language, read tables of winning, losing, the rates of points or whatever. So it's like speaking a new language for them. And they become coaches, and our children become scorers of the games, and the mature one become referees. So we hold the whole community together with us in the court, in the sport. And this is very beneficial for the sport and also for the government, because those mothers and those children that playing and sharing and having sport, later they save money from not being in hospitals and from not being sick, because they are aware of well-being and food and whatever, and healthy way of life. And this, for the long term, it's really influence the society as a whole. This is very important. And this is in Austria. This girl, she is studying the scoring of the game, and her mother at the same time was in the coach course. So it was like very excited to see. Okay, a minute. One of the important, I think it's the most important thing that we have in Mamanet, and I think it's so Olympism value. In Mamanet, we're not allowed to boo the mothers. You only allowed to cheer your team. We teach our children, and the children are the fans, the children, the husband, that you don't have to hate the other team in order to love your team. Don't spend energy for hating somebody. Spend your energy for cheering your team. And so we have zero tolerance for this kind of violence. It's a violence for us. We are not allowed to boo. No child allowed to boo no mother, whatever, no matter what. This is a strict rule, and the referee allows to stop the game until it's quiet. And by that, we have, usually in sport, we have the yellow card and the red card, warning and then punishing. And we have the yellow heart, we call it, the green heart, we call it. And we give it for teams and the fans that behave nice, because it's a positive reinforcement, for mothers and for fans, because and it's amazing to see what the green heart is doing, because I know that if my opponent in the other court is falling down, I help her to raise up, and if I touch the net, I admit, and the fans of my team not boo her. So it gives the environment of the game a very special and unique environment. It's not only fighting and the tension of winning or losing. It's more relaxed. It's more it's nicer to play in this environment. I think it contributes so much for the game, and the environment is nice to be, because remember, not all of us, or not all of the mothers are professionals, and and they also have the right to feel right at the court and out of the court. So this is a very on 2017 we got from the European Fair Play Movement the award for this kind of value of fair play, not booing, not allowed to boo, and for the yellow heart, the positive reinforcement for mothers and fans. So we are very, very proud of this prize. Having that said, we are not only talking about Mamanet, but there are academic researchers that confirm what I have said until now. And this is, I think, a very strong saying that we have numbers, not only talking. And so there were few researchers about Mamanet that has been done. One of them, what is the motivation to join Mamanet in midlife? In age of 35, 40, you're not easily obligated to every week to go for the training and every week for a game. And so what makes, because we are mothers and we have other obligations to go out and do other stuff. And if I have a wedding of my best friend on the game date, where do I go? Of course, the game. So this is a kind of the changing set of values that I mentioned at the beginning, because this is what's really important, and this is what they feel that they obligate to, and this is part of being obligate to sport team. So it changed all the sets of values, and amazingly enough, when they saw the scores, the winning or losing wasn't the first motivation of joining Mamanet, but belong to a social team. Social sportive team was the first. And usually in sport, when you check what is the motivation, it's winning or losing. And you can see that mothers are not coming only for winning or losing, but for other values. And this is it was very amazing for us. And the other very big 3 years research about Mamanet and the influence of Mamanet on the social and health capital. And this is also very unique, because if you check a league, a sport league, you don't check about the social, you check about the sportive, the sportive and health well-being. But here they checked also the social influence, and it was amazing to see the results. And I have the results if someone is interesting, and to see that it's absolute numbers in favor of those that play Mamanet, and they compare mothers that playing Mamanet, mothers that do other sport but not Mamanet, and mothers that do nothing, and they compare them, and not only compare them, but they compare the same women, the same player for 3 years, the first year, the second year, and the third year. And what did they saw? That in extreme evidence, those mothers of Mamanet, the more years she's in the Mamanet, the more influence she has in the social capital and the health and the well-being. And this is amazing results, because it influenced the future time of our well-being and health and social, and more, and they feel more that they contribute more for the society and the social, and it's very important for us as people to know that we are living in a better place, and we create the better place. We are not waiting for others to do this, but we are responsible for this, and we are doing this, and this is very strong. Some, a few awards that we got, I mentioned it before because it's very amazing to see how it spread out and how others outside of Mamanet see Mamanet. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs chose Mamanet to be in the program Creative Energy, to show the beautiful face of Israel, not only by a technological startup and whatever, but social community and the female startup. And this is a very unique way to show your country. And as I mentioned, the UN recognized Mamanet as a mean to achieve sustainable development and promotion within the framework of United Nations 2030 program. In India, I was in New Delhi to gain the prize of Women of the Year in Community, Entrepreneurship Innovations. And in Israel, I gained the Women of the Year in Israeli Sport, even though I'm not a sport even. I'm not going to the Olympic, and I'm not, the champion of whatever. But the impact that the Mamanet is doing on the sport, it's strong enough for them to recognize me as a Woman of the Year in Sport. And the fair play spirit, as I mentioned, and the very important one is the prize that we gained last year. I'm aware, and I want to say a few words before I'm finished. I'm aware is a tournament that we do for women to go to check for breast cancer, pre-check for breast cancer, because if you find it in a very early stage, you can save your life, you can treat it and get healthy. And this idea came from few Mamanet players that were sick with breast cancer, and they ask us to do something so many women will expose to it and will go to check. So we decided to have a big tournament, and we have 24 nets in the best stadium in Israel that the municipality of Rishon LeZion mayor gave us, contribute us. And thousands of mothers come with a pink shirt, and we say we play on the court and not with our life. And each player that come to play in this tournament has to. We have a big wall, and each one of them has to sign. I checked, and she marked V, and that she checked. And few mothers that went and they checked before they come to the tournament found that they have a breast cancer, and only because they went to check and they found it in early stage, and they treat it, it saves their life. So here's an example for a health responsibility by the sport field, and this is the power of mothers that we influence like ripples, many others, and in many fields. And for this, we gain among 50 countries, we got the diversity award for this. And also we will do another tournament for violence against women and families and children. So this is how we convey responsibilities and the issues, strong issues of our society to others, and bring it to awareness of many others around us and far from us. And this is influential, and this is social movement. This is why they call it social movement. So before I finish, I will just say another sentence. When I started Mamanet, as you remember, I said to the one that forced me to come with her, not now, not always, why not do things. And when I go to at the beginning I went to sport departments to convince them to have Mamanet, because at the beginning all of them throw me out. And I convinced them why you should have Mamanet, and they start to give me thousands of excuses why not, because it's very not for mothers, and we don't have enough courts, and the children are there playing, and the men are playing in the court, so we don't have time, and there are no nets and no balls, and no. And I was listening carefully, and when they finished talking, I said to them, okay, now give me only one reason why yes. You told me 10,000, why no? Tell me reason why yes, you have a Mamanet in your place. And from this point, we start to talk about this. So we always in our life also, we have excuses why not to do things. Found yourself the one yes you have, and from this start your doing. And I hope that in India you will have a Mamanet League, huge Mamanet League that influence the mothers, the children, and everybody else. Thank you very much.
Ofra, thank you so much. It's a real influence, inspiring, and huge social impact. If I could say correctly, a perfect example of the spirit of Olympism. Hats off to you, Ofra.
Thank you very much, because this is what I said at the beginning, that this is Mamanet is Olympism, absolutely. Because the way to the court and the way from the court, this is what important, and this is the influence that we have.
I'm sure, and a way to go forward.
Absolutely.
All right. I was just noting down a lot of things when you were speaking, when you were showing your PPTs, a lot of curiosity that is going in my head, and I have picked up a few comments from our viewers. Anubhav, can I go ahead with those, or if you want to add something?
Yes, Dr. Mukherjee. So we have about 3 or 4 minutes before we kick off the next presentation. So as long as you're mindful of that, I'm totally fine with you going on.
All right. So Ofra, today you validated one of my personal belief. I have always believed that people play sport, we play sport, irrespective of our levels, whether it is amateur, grassroots, or professional, for the joy of playing. That's the most important thing. And today you validated that. And in one slide you said mothers are the best coaches, and that's why they teach. So you spoke about winning versus success. Like winning is good to have, but success is something which is must to have. What is your take on having a larger participation in specific? Because I'm sure to create a larger participation of human, what is your suggestion for our country? Because I'm sure you had various challenges. You had various challenges when you started this, and any movement like this. How have you created this larger participation impact?
First of all, when I created it, there was nothing. Mm-hmm. So it was much difficult, to create from nothing something. It's much difficult. Now we have it, so you can see it before. If you want to convince somebody, you can show him pictures, you can show him YouTubes, and you can show him how it's going with other countries. So it's easier to convince. But the Mamanet start from bottom down, from bottom up. Okay, it started with me. I created more and more mothers attend me, but in your position now, you can start it both ways. You can start it from up to down by saying this is something that we want, a program or something that we want as a country, as a sport, as a message, as a health, whatever project or whatever. And this is a national project that we want to apply. And by having that, also find those crazy mothers like me. And there are so many crazy mothers like me, you can't imagine. And while you show them this idea, Mamanet start to raise up, not because I went to the mayor of their city, because those two mothers sit together and they start to talk, and she said to her, "Wow, what do you say, coach? What, Mamanet, what is it?" And, call Ofra, she will tell you. And when I told her what to do, I didn't go with her to her city to build it. She went to the mayor and she convinced him, and they start to build it in their places. This is how. So it's very easy to find crazy mothers that will initiate it, and together it becomes like a fire. You just have to light the fire. The fire will start to spread it out easily. And if you want, I will come and I will show you how to do the method because it's a method to do this, and it's so easy. And while you have the national and the government support, you can be 500 times much from Israel, than Israel, because it's so easy when you have the gym, and it's not a lot of infrastructures. It's not a soccer or whatever, rugby. It's gym, ball,
with very basic.
And the influence, it's much bigger.
Trust me, Ofra, we need a lot of crazy mothers like you.
You have them. You have to find them.
Yeah. Okay, last 1 minute, Ofra. I noted down a couple of comments from Geeta Sharma, Pooja, and Divya Saini, where they mentioned about correct mindset, empowering a woman, and also a solution to a lot of problem faced by women, especially. My last question, in very specific, where do you see men supporting or challenges? Is there at all any involvement of men? I'm sure you have, but is it also partially they are involved, or is all women-driven Mamanet?
No. It's not. It's feminism, but without being feminist, because we do for sport, and it's a women empowerment, because we have players that from being players and build Mamanet in their places, they become municipality members. And the head of municipality, and they holding the sport in their city, so they become in a position, because it drives them. But it's not only for women; it's for men, and they can be coaches. And if you're in your heart with the Olympism and the values of Mamanet, you're in. And there are many men that feel the same and want to be part of Mamanet, and bring them together and bring children to this and be coaches. And we have many things that they can be together with us. We don't care. Whom love Mamanet is in.
Thank you so much, Ofra. I'm sure today's inspiration you would see in the coming days to come from us as well. And we will have a lot of crazy mothers, and we will also be a part of this wonderful initiative. It was a real privilege and a pleasure to having you and speaking with you, Ofra. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Shalom.
Over to you, Anubhav.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Mukherjee. That was beautiful, and thank you so much, Ofra ma'am. Really enjoyed the presentation. As Dr. Mukherjee said, the comments that came pouring in on our platforms were extremely heartwarming. So many people seem to have been affected in a very positive manner based on your presentation, and this was very empowering for everyone, especially for mothers, daughters, women who are watching from all over the world.